Hello, beautiful little gamers. My name is Jonal. There was a question in one of the mailbox Monday where they was talking about how to carry support, and they were asking, do you think that the easiest way to rank up as a support, or I think the question was something more like, do you agree that it's difficult to rank up as a support if you're not duo queuing? And my answer to that was more explaining about how queuing works with friends and so on than it was about the actual topic of how to rank up as a support. So that's what I think that we should talk about today. Supports are very important. It's I like playing support. Even though I'm a DPS main, I like playing support. It's a very fun role. I think that Blizzard has done a really good job in this game to do that support also doesn't feel like just heal bots. The issue is when I private coach people, by the way, if you want to hire me as a private coach, rank up and get better at the game, it's 50 euros for a 2-hour session. Doesn't matter if you're bronze or top 500. Hit me up on the Discord server and we'll set something up. Look at that integration of the ad. Anyway, if you're playing support, and especially in the lower healers, you will see that a lot of people are struggling with the fact that they don't feel like they have control over their matches. It feels really like you kind of like just rolling the dice. I get DPSs that carry that I can pocket, or we lose. And there's kind of nothing I can do about it. But then at the same time, you see that there's top 500 and there's Grandmaster support, and they are somehow ranking up. Is that because they're playing with Grandmaster support and DPS players, and they've kind of gotten there? Or what is it? So how do you carry with support? And it's very, very simple. To carry a support, you need to have impact on the match. So essentially, and I'll go over every single support in the game and explain to you what that means. How do you have impact on thing? Let's start with Ana. How do you have impact on the game with Ana? One, nades, using them offensively, not using them to heal DPSs that you can't hit with your rifle. Using them offensively to try to anti-nade the enemy team and try to anti-nade them in moments where your team is fighting them. Especially the lower healer you are, the lower chance that there is that they will push in on an anti-nade. So if you get an angle where you can anti-nade enemies while they're already fighting your teammates, there's a big chance that your team will already start killing them. You're just making it easy for them. Saving your sleep dot to sleep easy tanks and so on, having impact on CC like that. If you know stuff like Whole Hog is coming up for Whole Roadhogs or something like that, sending easy shots against their tank line can be very, very good. And also, of course, having time and knowing when you can use a rifle to damage and when you can use a rifle to heal, and knowing the difference between those two is very, very important. That is the 3 ways to carry with Ana. And the last thing is about APM. It's why supports are so difficult to play, because you don't just need to think about dealing damage like a DPS does. You also need to think about, I need to deal damage, but I also need to heal at the same time. If you're playing Baptiste, that means healing and holding him at the field and getting value out of your aim at the field and healing is on, but also about using a rifle to deal damage, stop flanking DPS, stop DPS wherever setting up, help break the shield, help shoot tanks. And again, just like in DPS, you want to look for damage, you want to look for kills. Aggressive Baptiste players is a pain in the fucking ass. I can speak at that as a DPS player, and also I just placed my tank on my main account. I think I placed like right around 4.1k, and I met some fucking bunkers Baptiste players that was zoning me as hog because they were just dinging me all the fucking time, pushing me away, and I couldn't advance, and the DPS did shit about it. But the fucking Baptiste players are so alpha right now. For some reason, every Baptiste player that I meet are just alpha, and they just fuck shit up. So using a rifle of Baptiste, very important. When it comes to break, it's about hitting stunts, knowing when to push people. A lot of people push people away too early and so on, and knowing when to stun the correct target that your team can do. You have so little damage as a break, so it's a lot about managing to either single out, squishies that are alone or something like that, or help your team with follow damage on already things. So look what your team is attacking and follow up with stunts and try to help them kill stuff. And again, watch out what you're pushing with your flail, because that's a big mistake that the normal time you see break players kind of push enemies to safety. When being Lucio, again, you want to still be able to be around your team so you can speed them and heal them. Notice as well that if you are in a team fight and you're backing off the team fight, speed your team. The healing that you will do in a disengage is not enough. You need to speed them back so they get out of the range of anything. That's just a thing that really triggers me. Use your speed so your team can play aggressive with that speed and then rather heal during the team fight itself and so on. Be aggressive. Learn how to take angles. Learn how to aim with a Lucio so you can deal damage. Lucio does insane amount of damage. You can dive, you can help take out and kill squishes as support. You can help bully tanks from different angles. Almost like Genji, where you take crossfire and set up these crossfire angles. You can do that with Lucio. Of course, your boop is also really good. You can push people off the map. You can push people out of position. But again, watch out that, again, just like a break there, don't push the enemy team to safety. Don't use this when you're not supposed to. And again, learn how to wall climb and learn how to be aggressive. That's how you carry. Again, you want to have that impact with the damage of Lucio. And he's so good at creating angles that no other support can create by wall climbing up to these high grounds. And he can shoot down at people, he can dive people, and you can speed. Very important. When it comes to Mercy, so many people have been struggling with Mercy because there's no damage, right? Ana, Baptiste, Moira, Zenyatta, Brig, and Lucio, all these have damage. Unless you pull out the pistol, which is kind of throwing on Mercy, you don't deal damage with Mercy. That's why you have damage boost. Knowing when and getting in damage boost for a team is important. Like, it's... Okay, imagine that you're playing a mirror comp, very common in like high tier competitive ladders, right? When for example, back in the days, back when Bunker still was meta, before Sigma came, so before Double Shield, Orisa Hog, right, was a very common thing to play on Nepal Sanctum. Even during Ghostman, some teams were still playing with a Hanzo. And when we saw mirror comps of that, what would win us fights was the Mercy player that knew when to damage the Hanzo rapid fire and when to keep damage boost on the Hog's right clicks so he could break the shield faster. You would win the shield war every single fucking time that you had a Mercy that knew what the fuck he was doing. That was high tier scrims. Knowing who to damage boost and getting damage boost to your tanks, to people that has valuable damage, either in shield break, in kills, in ultimates, really does a very big difference. And healing is really good, but knowing how to do that is really, really important. And also remember one thing, you're playing Mercy, when you're resting somebody, you're taking your healing and damage away. So sometimes, if it's a fight and it's a close fight, while resting somebody sounds tempting, think about that. If I start resting now, will another guy die? Or will we lose kills because I'm not damaging whoever is full committing, right? So it's not always smart to do a res if you could rather damage boost or heal to keep pressuring your team. Because as soon as you start doing that res, there's a risk of you dying, and there's a very big risk that, you know, people will take so much damage and you won't trade that much damage because you're not doing anything as Mercy, because you're wasting time on resting somebody that will die right after anyway. For Moira, it's about getting orbs and doing your sucking with your right click and so on. With Moira, you can play very, very aggressively, so don't be scared. Abuse the fact that Moira is pretty fucking broken with self-heal, insta-lock, and an orb. So make sure that you, if you're gonna play Moira, that you abuse that to zone and fight DPS. You don't do that well against tanks, but you're really good at sitting on a high ground, healing down at your team, and at the same time kind of you're stealing HP from supports and DPS that try to advance and take high grounds or push forward to bully. Against DPSs, you're really good. Build Coalescence fast. It's one of the fastest building support ultimates. It's one of the most important building a support ultimate. Build Coalescence fast. Start shooting it at people, and especially start focusing DPSs and supports that are out of position. Nuke those fuckers with Coalescence. It's free kills, and it's so effective way of carrying. With Zenyatta, it's the obvious. Discord orb targets that you are either going to kill yourself, but more importantly, that you know your team is fighting currently. Kind of like the Anonade, you want to disco something that your team is already engaged with, because in lower elos they won't, you know, target the thing with the Discord. So make it easy for them. On top of that, it's aim, right? It's aim and aim and aim and aim. Again, landing shots with your orbs and knowing when to land shot and how to land shot and landing these good shots. It's pure mechanics for Zenyatta, but knowing that is very important. And also remember, use your transcendence to win fight. You don't always need it to hold it to save an ultimate. If your entire team is losing right now and they're not committing with ultimates, trans and help them win that fight. If they're gonna ult the next fight, if you're like, okay, if I trans now, we win the fight, great. Next fight, they have a nanoblade. They're gonna wipe you with a nanoblade. They might wipe you with a nanoblade. Maybe your team does something. Maybe the Genji fucks up. But let's say that you know, okay, if I trans now, they will win the next fight with Nanoblade. It's better that than them winning the fight for free now, and then potentially also winning the next one if you get picked or something like that. So remember to preemptively use your Transcendence to save and win team fights. It's an immortality. It helps you brawl and fight, and it can give such a comeback. And it's so important to not just hold that to block DPS ultimates, because that's a really big mistake that I see for Zenyatta players that play matches where they hold trans for 4 minutes and never use it because they always get picked, and then they want to hold it for the next blade, and then they get picked again, and then all of a sudden the match has been lost. So that is my tips on how to carry. You gotta think the same way that you think when you're playing DPS and when you're playing tank. You gotta have impact, dealing damage, getting picked, shutting down the enemy team. It's not as much as playing around your team as it is using your team and then shutting down the enemy team, sabotaging for the enemy team, making sure that they can't do something to make it easier for your team to win. That is how you carry with support. Please take care, stay positive. If you want to hire me as a private coach, again, it's 50 euros for 2 hour session. Doesn't matter if you're bronze or top 500, I can help you improve, rank up, and get better at the game. So join our Discord community down below. Send me a DM. Happy holidays, guys. Please take care of yourself. I love you guys very much. My name is Jonal, and you guys keep the enemy in your crosshair.